Hi there, welcome back to joshuabergercarpentry.com, and in this video I will be reviewing the Makita Pinning gun code BPT350. Now, there's not many reviews on YouTube of this tool. There's a lot of comments though, and a lot of the comments tend to be criticisms, and it's usually that it's not powerful enough and it doesn't work on hardwoods. This may all be true, but this really isn't the main point of this tool. I personally think this tool is excellent for various reasons. So let's talk about what this tool does and certain features about it. If we can have a little look here. Okay, the first thing, how do you load this tool? You load the tool by pressing this, releasing it, and loading the pins in here. Right now we've got a selection of 25mm pins in here, that's 25mm in length. As you can see, they have a directional arrow on them. These pins are headless. There's not a headed version for these pins. They're headless, and on the end with the direction, they're actually pointed so they shoot into your surface you're pinning. To lock it in, you just shut like so. That's it. The other feature of this is it has a little rubber head on the end of it, so that prevents indentations when pinning, although the recoil on this gun is virtually minimal. That's also a really nice feature about it. Another little detail is you look on here, to activate the gun, if I just press the trigger, it's not going to do anything, there's a safety on it. For me to initiate the pinning, I have to do this and then I can fire the gun, as so. Now, as you can see, the pinning gun, it will actually shoot pins from the gun, and the pins will shoot out approximately 2 to 3 meters. Not really remotely harmful at all, but you know, that's the range of the thing. So, you may have noticed this is the 14.4 volt version. Makita now no longer really focus upon making 14.4 volt batteries. They've all kind of focused now on the 18 volt lithium ion versions. You can no longer get the 14 volt version, but you can get the 18 volt version, and I imagine the performance between the two is pretty similar. So, why do I love this tool? Well, as I said earlier, a lot of people on the internet seem to criticize it for not being strong enough and not being robust enough. Like I said, that's not the point of it. This tool works ideally for very delicate things, pinning mouldings, details like that, and you need to use it in conjunction with an adhesive. Due to the pins being so thin, 0.6 of a millimeter, it's not going to offer huge structural strength. Come on, you guys, think about it. So it really needs to be working in conjunction with an adhesive. What I love about this pinning gun is the fact is the pins are virtually invisible. Now, just something to mention about these pins. Initially, when you could buy these, as you can see here, this is well, for the purpose of this video, this is the 35mm version, this is the 18mm version, and this is, sorry, there's another 18mm version, the 25mm versions in the tool. So, what I like about this is the fact is that when you use this, if we can get a close-up on this, here we are. If we go to the side, so you can see the pin come through, as you can see. I don't know if you can pick it up on here, but the pin is here. If you look at the top, although I've picked an error on the MDF, which is actually slightly discoloured, we'll go next to it as well. If you look down from the top here, it's virtually invisible. You might be able to see a little tiny silver dot there, but that's it. It's not proud, it's not underneath, it's perfect. These pins I've used, they have two options. There's the stainless steel option and there's the standard option. I imagine previous reviews on the internet where they complained about the pins not being shot through solidly enough. That I found to be the case when using the standard steel version. The stainless steel versions usually go all the way through. Now, this piece here, what I've demonstrated on is a piece of 15mm green MDF. Green MDF is the moisture resistant one. It's slightly denser than standard, so it's quite a good test. I don't believe this pinning gun would pin 25mm into, say, oak or, you know, quite a dense hardwood like that. What I have used this pinning gun on in the past, for example, over here, which is a subwoofer that I built, which is on a previous video, I fixed the trim on purely with this pinning gun, and I think, you know, it looks great. The added bonus of this pinning gun is the fact is that you can actually sand off the pins with a random orbital sander, providing, you know, on quite a low grit, say up to 80, it will sand the pins off quite nicely without damaging the actual sanding disc, or worse of all, your base underneath. Another feature of where I've used this pinning gun, for example, will be over here, and this is just some, you know, basically my hi-fi unit. And if you can get a side view on this, I've actually cut this door in half because of various issues. But this is how I tend to do, you know, shaker style doors. So I'll have a 15mm piece of MDF and I'll plant 9mm on top of this, around the edges and things like that. But this has all been planted on using that pinning gun. So, you know, for purposes like this, like I said, working in conjunction with glue, I think it's excellent. What else is there to say about this pinning gun? Well, we can do a little few more demos, of course. So right now I'm using 18mm WBP ply, and I shall pin this on to this 15mm here. Now, it's solid. You know, I can twist it off and shear it off, but you know, for the purposes of just the pinning something for whilst the glue goes off, this I really do think is ideal. And if you get a zoom on this again if you can please. You know, there's a slight indent on that, but you know, it's very clean and it's very tidy. So, my overall opinion on this pinning gun, I think it's excellent. It's not for heavy structural use, it's just for very detailed, dainty kind of things, but it works very well. Also, just a note that, you know, you really don't have to put a huge force on this. You really only need to use the weight of the machine itself, and the recoil on this is minimal. Makita, I think you've made a lovely tool, despite what other people say. I often think that maybe they're not using it quite for what it's designed for, but I think it's great. And thanks again for watching my video at joshuabergercarpentry.com. Thanks again. Bye.